Hello, welcome to the first BSHammer YouTube video ever. By popular demand, I have been asked to make videos about updates and other Age of Empire related things, so here we are. So we are taking a look at the update that came out on May 15th. You can just barely see the date below my camera. And this is a pretty big update because it involves DLC, the Return to Rome DLC, or Return of Rome DLC, that we'll see in a moment, and some other minor changes to the Age of Empires 2 game, but a very large change to Age of Empires 1, as you'll see in a moment. So just scrolling away. So not going to spend too much time here. So some game updates. Regional trade carts now use appropriate sound effects, so that's good. The Theracidai, or however this is pronounced, receives the firing sound, so I'm not sure what it sounded like before. Some issues with the music, the Civ jingle, and the in-game music overlapping, so that's good. And then taunts are apparently supposed to reduce the volume of the music. It had the hiring sound before, gotcha. Taunts are going to reduce the volume of the music for the duration that they're playing. So if you like to play with the music really loud, the taunts will bring that volume down. Dying economy units can no longer be counted as workers or idle. So this is a very short-term issue. Turbo mode stuff. The tooltip for the monument victory banner now displays the correct text. And then formation buttons are no longer displayed if in the current unit selection there's only one formation supporting unit. I'm not sure what this means. Formation buttons are no longer displayed if in the current unit selection there's only one formation supporting unit. Okay, so I guess like if you have like one militia and a bunch of villagers, then it wouldn't show the formations. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Hotkeys, so some hotkey stuff. Gameplay, some fixes, which I'm a little sad about because I personally didn't mind this, but the area healing effect used by Caravanserai, or Caravanserai, however that's pronounced, and the Stronghold unique technology. So the Celts received an update to their Stronghold unique tech, an update or two ago. But these healing effects no longer stack from several providing buildings next to each other. So basically, if I have a bunch of Caravanserai grouped up together, then they're not going to stack. Only one of them will be contributing to healing the trade carts. All right, so I know some people are really excited about campaigns, so we'll talk about that for a second. So campaign missions, the Alaric and Attila campaigns have been updated to include the new Romans civilization where appropriate. And then the Saladin 5 Jihad, the Tyre civilization has been changed to Sicilians, now matching the co-op version. So it seems like this is a more of a cosmetic level change. It doesn't seem like that it's going to be adding any changes to the content of the campaigns, though I'm not familiar with the campaigns myself yet. But this doesn't seem like it's changing much but cosmetics. So that's nothing too crazy. All right, so some balance changes. So this is not going to bring a ton of balance changes to Age 2, but we are getting a new unit called the Droman. I'm not sure if that's pronounced correctly. It's a new ship, as you can see, as the ship. 175 wood, 150 gold. An anti-building siege warship with long range and area of effect attack, but cannot attack enemies at close range. Effective versus buildings and large groups of units. So this has a very cannon galleon feel, and you'll see why that's important in a moment. So basically, we've got a ship with what looks like a mangonel on top of it. So this unit is going to be available to the Byzantines, Goths, Huns, and the Romans, the new civ that's being added to H2 in Imperial Age. And then another general update, the Cannon Galleon and Elite Cannon Galleon are going to benefit from siege engineers. So that's really cool because if I understand correctly, that should give them an extra range. I may be mistaken by that, but that seems like a big change along with the other benefits that siege engineers adds. So the Bengalis, elephant units converted from a Bengali player no longer lose their bonus conversion resistance. So units converted from a Bengali player no longer lose their bonus conversion resistance. So if I steal a Bengali elephant, then it's also going to be hard to take back, which sounds pretty cool if I'm reading this correctly. Byzantines, so they receive the Droman or Droman, and they lose the Cannon Galleon. So this essentially is going to replace the Cannon Galleon for the 4 civs. So Byzantines are going to, instead of having the Cannon Galleons, they're going to have the Droman. And then their fire ship bonus is also going to apply to the Droman, which tells me that I'm going to have to update my civ overlays yet again. The Goths, again, receives the Droman, loses Cannon Galleon, so replacing the Cannon Galleon with the Droman. The Huns are receiving the Droman, so I'm reading that as they never had a Cannon Galleon. So they now have an anti-building ship, which is good. And then the Romans. So the Romans, this is a big change. So with the Return of Rome DLC that you can purchase, the Romans are being added to Age of Empires 2 DE. I'm being very explicit about that because there's some Age of Empires 1 themed stuff coming up later. So this is a new civ that's being added with the purchase of the DLC. It is a... I should read this first. So the Romans are not initially available for ranked multiplayer, but will be in the near future. So from my understanding, when the Romans were first announced to be an addition to Age 2, they were not going to be a multiplayer ranked civ at all. And then I guess there was some kind of pushback from the community, from the players that wanted to see the Romans added to being played on ranked multiplayer. And from what I remember, the devs made the decision to add them to multiplayer the same day they dropped the DLC to content creators that had an early access to the game. There was a lot of changes all at one time. And so because they weren't originally intended to be added to ranked multiplayer, then they didn't really make any balancing considerations. So the Romans might, with these bonuses that we're about to look at, might be a little overpowered for the ranked community. And so I'm assuming they're going to probably make some changes to these bonuses to help make them fit in without appearing too overpowered compared to the other civs. So these bonuses that I'm about to read out are probably subject to change once they are added to rank. All right, so enough about that. So the Romans are an infantry civ. Their civ bonuses, their villagers gather, build, and repair 5% faster. So a small increase, but an increase across 3 very, necessary things for villagers to do. Excuse me. Their galley line gets +1 attack. Their war galleys get +1/+1 pierce armor. And their galleons and dromans gets +2 and +2 pierce armor. So they've got 2 really strong bonuses for their navy for not being a naval civilization. They get extra attack on their galley line and extra armor on their warships. The infantry for the Romans receive double effect from blacksmith armor upgrades. We're not going to see the tech tree in this video, but I've looked at the tech tree and I'm 99% sure that they do not receive the last armor upgrade for infantry, so they're not going to get that final armor in Imperial Age, but they will get double effect from the first 2 armor upgrades, which is pretty cool. And then this one, which I think this is probably what's going to need to be nerfed before other Romans are added to ranked, is that their scorpions are 60% gold, minus 60% gold, and benefit from ballistics, which this is huge in my opinion, because one of the things that I always hate about scorpions is not being able to hit moving targets. Like if I have a ball of archers or a ball of crossbows, I can just easily dodge all of my scorpion bolts, and this should prevent that from happening. So I think this will probably be taken down a notch because that seems a bit too strong right now. All right, so unique units, the castle age, the castle unique unit, the Centurion, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. You're gonna see I'm not good at pronouncing anything. So the Centurion costs 75 food, 85 gold. So this is a very expensive land unit. This is starting to push into one of the most expensive land units, minus like elephants and stuff like that. So this is the Roman unique cavalry unit trained at the castle, and this has this interesting, it has an aura effect. So it increases the movement speed by 10% or 15% when elite, and attack speed by 25% or 33% when elite of militia line units in a 10 to 12 tile radius. And the effect does not stack for multiple Centurions. So if you have some militia line units near at least one of these cavalry units, then they're going to get this sort of buff, this aura-like buff. They'll move a little bit faster and they'll attack faster. So this is going to infinitely fast, boys. Yeah, stacking that with multiple units. They would move faster than the Centurions. They just fly out of the radius. Now thinking about this, imagine this with the 10 times shared civ mod. That would be crazy. I'm curious on how this is going to get incorporated. I believe this is the first time we see a unit having some sort of aura effect. There's buildings that have some effects like this, but I don't think we have any units that buff other units nearby. I could be mistaken, but I don't know of anything off the top of my head. So this is a pretty cool effect. So then the second Roman unique unit is the Legionary. And this is one that it's interesting. It replaces the two-hand and champion at the barracks. So you're going to go militia, men-at-arms, longsword, and then into Legionary. You're not going to see two-hand and champions. And this Legionary unit has additional bonus damage versus infantry. Not sure how much bonus damage, but some amount. Unique techs. They have ballistas, 400 wood, 300 gold. Their scorpions and their galley line fire 33% faster. So another bonus for their warships and another bonus for their scorpions. I think, you know, this might get tweaked a little bit before revealing Romans to the ranked community. And then, oh geez, how do you pronounce this? Committances? I'm not sure. I'm a math major, not a linguistics major. So 700 food, 800 gold for this hard to pronounce unique tech. And it gives their militia line, their knight line, and their Centurions, they train 50% faster, and they receive a 5 damage charge attack. So charge attack, think about the Costelier. They have their charge attack that's built into the Burgundians unique unit. This tech is going to allow them to train faster, but then also give them a charge attack similar to the Costelier. For militia line, which includes the Legionary, their knight line, so just, you know, knights and such, and their unique castle unit, the Centurion. And then finally, their team bonus, another Scorpion bonus, is going to reduce the minimum range of their Scorpions. So that's going to be really good dealing with melee units. You got knights or infantry. Maybe not as important for knights, but I feel like this is going to be really huge when countering infantry, which Scorpions do really well at. Late game feels like Goth with Scorpions. Yeah, it's I want to pair Romans with Goths. I feel like they're going to be a really powerful combo in a team game. All right, let's keep on moving because we still got a lot to talk about. So map balances. So this is some battle royale stuff. Change Gaia civilizations to Romans. That makes sense because it's called Fall of Rome. And then Battle on Ice added Gaia Crusader Knights to the middle. So stuff for unfortunate game mode that doesn't see play too much anymore. And then something random map scripting. Nomad resources parameter now reimburses the town center's cost with the cost bonuses taken into account instead of always adding 275 wood and 100 stone to the starting resources. I'm not sure how to interpret this because there was a lot of changes added to Nomad starts with civs that had starting bonuses. So I think this is probably what the intended result to be, but I'm not sure. I'd have to read that carefully, but that's what we have here. Basically, it seems like that you're going to get the correct amount of resources according to your bonuses, but again, I'm not sure what that means because I thought a lot of the first town center bonuses were removed from the game, like Malians getting their discount and such. I thought those didn't start until after the first town center, but I could be mistaken. All right, modding. I'm not going to read any of the modding stuff, but there's a ton of modding changes that I've read some positive feedback on Reddit about. I don't know anything about modding, but I heard that this is a lot of good things that will give the modding community a lot of new and powerful tools. So if you're interested in modding, then definitely check this out. Give it a good read, because this, from what I've read feedback wise, this seems like it's a lot of good stuff. And I will leave a link to the updates that I'm reading off of in the description of this video, so you'll be able to take a read at some things that I skip a little quickly. Scenario editor, we added Gazelle, so new prey animal unit. So I guess we're gonna start seeing some Gazelle in some maps. And then the previously existing Centurion and Legionary units have been renamed into Imperial Centurion and Imperial Legionary. So before the new civilization of the Romans, there were some units like the Centurion and the Legionary that appeared in, I think, campaigns and custom maps and things like that. So they've been renamed to something else, so there's not a conflict between the units, the official unit and the custom unit. And then fix an issue where units were not getting upgraded correctly by some modding stuff. So I guess this was all modding stuff that I read, but that's okay. All right. So the next big update that comes with this DLC is Return of Rome. So that's kind of the big overarching theme of this update, and it's doing a lot of things all at once. So I guess before I start reading, it's going to explain some of this in detail of what I read, but I'll just kind of give you an overview. So the Return of Rome DLC, what it's doing is that it's adding the Age of Empire 1 civilizations to the Age of Empires 2 DE game engine. So Age of Empires 1 DE exists, it's a thing, but it used the same game engine, at least from my understanding, as the original Age of Empires 1 game, and the same mechanics and stuff. And so it brought along some of those things that a lot of people didn't like about the original Age of Empires game, that Age of Empires 2 had addressed and improved, that people enjoy. And so what this does is that it allows you to play these Age of Empires 1 civs in the environments of the Age of Empires 2 mechanics, which is a huge improvement from the Age of Empire 1 DE game, and allows you to enjoy the older civs. So with this DLC, they added a new civ. So they have the original 16 civs from Age 1, and they added Lafayette, which I am to understand is representative of the Vietnamese civilization at this time era. I'm not good at history, so if I'm mistaken on that, feel free to correct me, but try not to criticize too much, because my history knowledge is limited to what I've learned from Age of Empires. So they are an archer civilization, and then their bonuses, their foragers gather 20% faster, and from my understanding, foraging is actually the priority way of gathering food at the beginning of the game. So Age 1 starts don't include sheep like in Age of Empires 2, and berries are actually the go-to. So this is a huge bonus to your starting food economy. Military units created 25% faster, and then the archer range units get +2 melee armor. And then team bonus, which team bonuses actually weren't a thing in Age of Empires 1, and they're being added to the Return of Rome DLC. So all of the Age 1 civs are going to now include a team bonus, and the Lafayette's team bonus is that houses and farms build 50% faster. And then a list of missing technologies and missing units. I'm not familiar with the Age 1 tech tree like I am the Age 2 tech tree, but there are, if you are familiar and you want to know about some of these things, then that's what's missing from the Lafayette tech tree. Then they're adding a new game mode called D3. So this set of rules reduces rush tactics and allows players to start their early game more robustly, only allowing fighting with a single unit until entering the Bronze Age, which I believe that's the third age. I believe it goes Stone Age, Tool Age, Bronze Age. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure this is the third age. Ensuring players reach later ages for equal battles. This rule set also bans walls and towers, making for more exciting matchups later in the game. So it seems like that they are preventing early game aggression, but then they're making it not turn into arena or something where you just wall up and have to deal with a lot of fortifications. I'm not sure what the inspiration for the D3 game mode is. I've heard through the grapevine that this is how the Age of Empire 1 DE community likes to play the game. because there is a very large Age of Empire 1 DE community. I believe the majority of that community is in Vietnam. But the I think this game mode addresses sort of the way that community likes to play. Add some new lobby settings. Let's see. So they added some new technologies. So City Watch, conscription, urbanization, and theocracy. So some new technologies that are being added from Age 1 to Age 2 with this DLC. Some gameplay changes. So you can now exchange resources at the market, which wasn't a thing in Age 1. You get a trade cart-like unit, so called the Trader. So land a trader that generates gold by traveling to allied markets. So if you're familiar with Age 2, this is basically a trade cart, and it requires a tech before you can get it. Naval trade has been adjusted. Now no longer requires a resource exchange nor trade goods stockpiling at the docks. So now functions the same as AoE 2. So basically the trade cog functionality is being incorporated with naval trade. The trade boat is moved to Bronze Age and the cost has changed. I'm not sure when it was created originally, but it's now in the Bronze Age. Villager garrison available at the town center. So in the original Age of Empire 1 game, you could not garrison villagers into your town centers, but now you can. The only difference between Age 2 and Return of Rome is that garrisoned villagers do not provide defensive arrows. So you can protect your villagers with the fortification of garrisoning, but you can't attack back. So not as good as how it's done in Age 2, but better than not being able to do anything and just watching your villagers get taken out by your opponent. Village and garrison available at towers. Does not provide any defensive arrows from garrison units, so you can also garrison in towers. Tech requirements for unit upgrades have been moved. So I'm not sure what this is, what all this refers to, but it's making some changes in that regard. Gates are being added to Age 1. So the original Age of Empires 1 game didn't have gates. Now they're being added, which I think is a nice change that will accommodate Age 2 players. Units may garrison into a building they created upon production, maximum of 10 per building. So this is exactly how Age 2 operates, where if you're training a unit in, say, like a barracks or an archery range, then you can garrison the units upon the creation. So you can't add them in after they've been created, but you can create them within the building and then eject them from the building later. And so that functionality is being added to Age 1. Use since garrison, this may not go back into the building after, just like I said. Villagers gathering shorefish can now deposit fish at the docks. So this is a similar functionality to Age 2. So if you have a villager in Age 2 at shorefish, then they can drop off at the dock. I believe before you had to use a, what is it called? A stockpile. I don't remember the name of the building. But you had to use basically the same building that you'd use for wood, stone, gold, and so on. All right, let's see what else we got. Balance changes. So ranked available in Return of Rome. So ranked lobbies and leaderboards will be available in Return of Rome, which is what I'm going to be doing tonight after this. So if you're interested in hanging out after this recording, because this is currently being streamed live on Twitch, so tell everyone hello on YouTube, my Twitch community. Ranked lobbies will be available for Return of Rome. Let's see. We've got YouTube. Yes, there we go. Tool age unit balance. So scouts have +3 bonus damage versus ranged units. Scout have +1 pierce armor. Axe 1 have +1 pierce armor. It's ranked like the DM, so no automatic matchmaking. Oh, that's unfortunate. I didn't know that. Well, we'll still check it out. See if we can have some fun tonight with the Age 1 civs. Axemen +4 damage versus scouts and all cavalry. Bowman +2 bonus damage versus melee. And watchtowers damage increase from 3 to 5. Since I'm not familiar too much with playing Age 1, I'm not sure how good or bad these balance changes are. Hopefully they're good, but I'm not familiar myself. Sentry towers damage is increased. Some changes to Iron Age. So this is the fourth age for Age 1. So changes to some splash radius. So decreasing the splash radius. So chariots, elephants and armored elephants, guard towers, ballista towers. So some changes to that. Let's see. Guard towers are being increased. Ballista towers are being decreased. And then civ bonuses. So there's a whole slew of civ bonuses being changed for the 16 existing civs. So the general goal of these changes is to expand the civilization bonus to have more depth with the further addition of team bonuses. So like I said earlier, Age 1 did not have team bonuses, but the new Age 1 DLC addition to Age 2 will include team bonuses. So the Assyrians, not sure if that's pronounced correctly. Siege unit upgrades cost 50% less, so this feels kind of like the Bulgarian bonus. And siege workshops work 20% faster. The Babylonians, their chariots get +1 pierce armor, and their team bonus is their builders work 10% faster. So this has a Spanish bonus effect sort of feel. Let's see, Carthaginian. Again, I'm butchering all these names. I'm sorry. They get a tech for free. Nobility, I'm not sure what that is, but they get it for free. And then team bonus, their fire galleys have +1 pierce armor. The Choson, they get a team bonus. The walls have +4 line of sight. That's huge. +4 line of sight. You're not castle dropping these guys, except unfortunately there's no castles in Age 1. So I guess you're not tower rushing these guys. The Egyptians, their team bonus, their priests have +1 pierce armor. The Greek, they receive polytheism and astrology for free with their first temple, and their team bonus is their markets are 50% less wood. Is it Hittite? Wheel costs 50%, 50% cost and research time, so it's 50% cheaper, and research is 50% faster. And their towers provide +4 population space. So this is pretty cool. You can get pop space from their towers. That's another thing. Houses in Age 1, they give you 4 pop space instead of 5. So Lucas Dukas is going to get housed a lot more playing the Age 1 civs. Macedonian, their team bonuses, their houses have extra hit points. The Minoan, their farms have +60 food. And +60 food change to farmers work 10% faster. Okay, so it looks like that there was a bonus and it's being changed to their farmers being faster. And their team bonus, their docks cost 20% less wood. The Palmarin, their traders return 20% more gold. So this has like a Spanish trade bonus sort of vibe. And their technology is research 30% faster, which has a Portuguese bonus sort of vibe. The Persians, oh geez, how do I pronounce this? Triremes? No, I'm not sure. They fire 25% faster and change to, this bonus is changed to warships fire 15, 20, 25% faster and tool, bronze, and iron age. Okay, I see. Triremes. Is that right? Their walls are 20% less stone. So wall discount, sort of like the Mayans. They gain access to ballistics, and their team bonuses, their stables work 20% faster. So this has a Frank sort of feel. I'm seeing a lot of like crossovers of some bonuses from some Age 2 civs, kind of mixing together in different civs, or into different bonuses, different civ bonuses being seen in one civ in Age 1. There we go. I think that's what I wanted to say. The Phoenicians, their docks have +4 line of sight and extra HP, so line of sight increase like the Malay, and more HP like the, I think the H2 Persians have more HP on their docks. And then their team bonus, their archers get +2 line of sight, which is like the Magyars. So again, a lot of similar bonuses that we've seen in Age 2 being used in the Age 1 civs. The Romans, so the Age 1 Romans, their ballistas and I'm not sure. These are, I think, basically scorpions, but in age 1. They get extra range, and their team bonus, their priest, heal 50% faster. The Sheng, which, if I remember from watching some old YouTube videos, this was a civ that everybody liked back in the day. I could be getting that wrong, but I think this is was a well-liked civ in like old age 1 tournaments. So their cavalry line attacks 10% faster, they gain access to ballistics, and their team bonus is that their town centers provide +4 pop space. The Cimmerians, their camels get +1 pierce armor, and their town centers are 25% less wood. And the Yamatos, their villagers move 10% faster. The villager movement speed has been replaced with fishing boats gathering 20% faster. So that's a very drastic change, going from a villager bonus is now a fishing boat bonus. Stables and archery range upgrades are 30% cheaper, and their stables and archery ranges cost 33% less wood. That's their team bonus. All right, that was a lot of reading. I'm not the best reader in the world. As I do more of these YouTube videos, and I'll get better at reading, I'm sure. Or reading aloud, I should say. So again, I'm going to post a link to this update in the description if you want to reread something that I either mispronounced or read too quickly. And then ongoing stuff, continuing to track issues, doesn't have any really a lot of information here. And then coming up, there's a Return of Rome event, which may or may not has already happened. So that, check that out if it hasn't happened by the time this video is posted. And then please note that the list is subject to change and should not be considered a comprehensive list of all known issues we're tracking. So I guess this is just a general disclaimer. All right. Well, that is the Return of Rome DLC updates read. So if you don't like reading on your own and you want to watch somebody else read for you, then this is the video for you. But if you're at this point, then you've already watched the video. So yeah, thanks everyone for sticking around to the end of this video. This is, again, my very first YouTube video that I've ever published for the channel. I guess this is an opportunity for me to drop some social information. Check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/BSHammer. And then I also have a Discord server. If you stop by my stream, you can get a link to the Discord server if you would like to talk all things Age of Empires with some pretty cool people. So thanks again, and I will see you all next time. Take care.